On November 12, 2017, emergency services rushed to a rural property near Gympie, Queensland. A horrific workplace accident had reportedly occurred. A man had allegedly fallen into an industrial woodchipper while clearing trees. The victim was 54-year-old Bruce Saunders. At first glance, it appeared to be a tragic accident. A hard-working man helping clear vegetation on a rural property had lost his life in one of the worst ways imaginable. But as investigators examined the scene, they noticed details that didn't fit. The evidence suggested something far more sinister. What police eventually uncovered was a shocking conspiracy involving multiple lovers, secret relationships, life insurance policies, greed, manipulation, and murder. This is the story of the Woodchipper Murder. Bruce Saunders was known as a friendly and hard-working man. Friends described him as generous and dependable. He had worked as a butcher and was well known in his community. Those who knew him said he was always willing to help others. Like many people later in life, Bruce was looking for companionship. After previous relationships ended, he hoped to find someone to share his future with. Eventually, he met a woman named Sharon. To Bruce, she appeared caring and affectionate. He believed he had found someone he could trust. What Bruce didn't know was that Sharon's life was far more complicated than it appeared. Sharon lived on Queensland's Sunshine Coast. To outsiders, she appeared to be an ordinary grandmother. But behind the scenes, prosecutors would later describe a tangled web of relationships. During the investigation, police discovered that Sharon maintained connections with several men simultaneously. Among those men were Bruce Saunders, Gregory Rosa, and Peter Cannon. The relationships created a complicated network of loyalty, jealousy, and influence. According to prosecutors, Sharon was skilled at convincing people to trust her. Witnesses later testified that she often persuaded men to make financial commitments that benefited her. Investigators eventually became convinced that money played a major role in what happened next. Bruce Saunders had assets. He had insurance policies. He had a home. And according to prosecutors, Sharon stood to gain significantly if Bruce died. According to evidence later presented in court, the murder was not a spontaneous act. Prosecutors argued it was planned. They alleged Sharon encouraged Gregory Rosa to kill Bruce Saunders so financial benefits could be collected afterward. The amount involved was substantial. Life insurance policies, superannuation benefits, and other assets could potentially provide hundreds of thousands of dollars. Prosecutors would later summarize the motive with a chilling statement. Bruce Saunders was worth more dead than alive. The alleged plan required an accident. Something believable. Something that would prevent suspicion. And eventually an opportunity emerged. On November 12, 2017, Bruce Saunders traveled to a rural property near Gympie. He was there with Gregory Rosa and Peter Cannon. The men were helping clear trees and vegetation. They had access to heavy equipment, including an industrial woodchipper. At some point during the day, Bruce Saunders was killed. Gregory Rosa would later be convicted of striking Bruce with a metal bar. Peter Cannon later admitted helping cover up the crime. Afterward, the perpetrators attempted to stage the scene as a terrible accident. Emergency services were called. The story presented to authorities was simple. Bruce had accidentally fallen into the machine while working. It was horrifying. But accidents involving industrial equipment happen. Initially, the explanation sounded plausible. Yet investigators soon noticed troubling inconsistencies. Experienced investigators know that crime scenes tell stories. Sometimes those stories match witness statements. Sometimes they don't. In Bruce Saunders' case, detectives began finding evidence that contradicted the accident narrative. Forensic examinations suggested the scene had been staged. Physical evidence indicated Bruce had not simply slipped and fallen into the machine. Detectives started looking more closely at the people around him. As interviews continued, inconsistencies emerged. Different versions of events were given. Stories changed. The deeper investigators dug, the more suspicious the case became. What began as an accident investigation was rapidly becoming a homicide investigation. Police spent years building their case. They analyzed communications. They conducted interviews. They gathered witness statements. One of the most important developments came when Peter Koenig began cooperating with authorities. His testimony helped prosecutors reconstruct what they believed had happened. Investigators also used covert recordings and other evidence that painted a detailed picture of the alleged conspiracy. Gradually, detectives became convinced that Bruce Saunders had been deliberately targeted. The supposed accident was merely the final stage of a carefully planned murder. The case eventually reached court. Gregory Rosa was convicted of murder. Peter Koenig pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the fact and testified against the others. Sharon Graham maintained her innocence. Prosecutors, however, argued she was the architect of the entire scheme. According to the Crown, she encouraged the murder and stood to gain financially from Bruce's death. In October 2023, a jury found Sharon Graham guilty of murder. Members of Bruce Saunders' family reportedly cried with relief when the verdict was announced. After years of investigation and legal proceedings, the case had finally reached a conclusion. The Woodchipper murder remains one of Australia's most shocking criminal cases. What initially appeared to be a tragic workplace accident turned out to be a calculated plot driven by greed and deception. At the center of the story was Bruce Saunders, a man remembered by family and friends as kind, generous, and always willing to help others. His death shocked Queensland. But thanks to years of investigative work, the truth eventually emerged. And a crime that might have been dismissed as a terrible accident became one of Australia's most notorious murder cases. Thank you for watching Across the Map. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more true crime stories from around the world.